All right. So, obviously, doing meditation helps you access more of inside of reality rather than outside. Because there is the inside of reality and then there's the outside of reality. And that is what I am going to talk about with addressing the book Inside and Outside Reality. Or it's called Inside Reality, and it's by the Pythagorean Illuminati. And, in this book, they explain how, there's the inside and outside of reality. There's the objective dream that we experience in our conscious, and then there's the inside of reality, which is our unconscious, and that's the nominal, like phenomenal, and then there's the nominal, and then there's inside and outside, unconscious, conscious, and the dual nature of reality. That's why the Freemasonic symbol, dual-headed phoenix, represents the dual nature of reality, and so does the Roman god Janus, because Janus has the two faces, and that represents seeing the inside and outside, the polarities. That's what that symbol represents, and the ancients knew the truth, and they contained them in symbols. So, we have strayed away from what is true, like with scientific materialism and atheistic scientific empiricist materialism, which is like purely science and stuff. But still, you'll see like religious people that are mythos religious people say that they are scientists too, which that's actually a contradiction, because that's why all the atheists and scientists are questioning the mythos religions, because it is a whole bunch of stories and parables, and it is made for control. And the whole thing is about what the religions believe in is they say that their books are the irrefutable truth, and that's why they refer to biblical inerrancy as well. They use their books, and they are the only thing that that is the truth, and that definitely keeps people from knowledge when you're bound to a book. So, inside reality. There are those, such as scientists, who see only the outside of reality, its appearances, surfaces, phenomena. They analyze what is visible, measurable, and observable, yet remain blind to the inside, its essence, its nomina, its foundation. They deny the existence of the hidden, the unobservable, the metaphysical. To them, what is seen is all there is. What you see is what you get. Science, as it is currently practiced, is the worship of surfaces. It proclaims that nothing lies beyond the veil. No hidden variables, no concealed forces, no truths beyond perception. The scientific method demands observation, yet this is only valid if everything is indeed observable. But if foundational truths are hidden, if ultimate reality is inward, unobservable, and nominal, then science has severed itself from truth and can offer only illusions, appearances without substance, shadows without light. To grasp reality in its fullness, one must master both the outer and inner, both the phenomenal and the nominal, both what appears and what is. True understanding arises not from the surface alone, but from the sacred intercourse between the seen and the unseen. Only those who walk the path of both worlds can behold the wholeness of being. So that is saying a lot right there, because it's just, what science is focused on is what's observable, what can be measured. And they leave out like what is not unobservable and you can't see, when reality is mostly unobservable, and unconscious. And so basically what science is only able to explain is just the scene, and which is not the full picture. And that's what the Pythagorean Illuminati have gone to great lengths in explaining, because in the great debate right now between religious and atheist scientists, skeptics, the skeptics and the atheist scientists and stuff are definitely kind of taking the lead or whatever. But even they don't have the full truth. And the Illuminati have definitely touched upon that, and why that is, and how they will actually science will never find the grand unified theory of everything until it accepts the mental realm, and which is the unobservable, the dimension not bound by space and time, dimensionless, the phenomenal, they're dual, because there's the physical and then there's non-physical. And as you like get into awakening more, you'll have your everyday waking experience, physical, or what I say is physical, but then you'll go to sleep and you'll go unconscious, and then you'll have astral body experiences and whole different realities. And then that even the Illuminati say is the proof of that reality is not physical. So this is definitely going to be part of the Great Awaken and Waken Up, because people are obviously waking up to having dreams, wondering what they are. And I never was explained that through the religions, whatever. It was only subscribed to, prophets and people of high stature and stuff that you could see in dreams, or have contact with God or whatever, when everybody can, because everybody dreams. And now I'm writing a book right now called Astral Magic, and I'm learning how to become more conscious. Obviously have had that ability my whole life. Everybody has it, but I obviously carried it over from past lives. And so I've been able to do this my whole life. And now as I'm getting older, I'm really practicing, the merging of the realms, because that is the solving of the Cartesian dualism, the mind matter phenomena, the religious scientific phenomena, the dual. It's just the illumination does it, and then once you do that, you open the door to the other side, and then uh, you're a multi-dimensional being that's not confined to the prison of the demiurge's panopticon. So, I know that I'm free, and obviously that's taken a lot of knowledge get, but it's a continual it's a continuing eternal thing, because once you're free, it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do now with your time? Because it is your decision, and your decisions vibrate and affect you, and so what you're doing now makes what you're going to be in the future, and so you are the ancestor of your future. So phenomenal versus nominal reality. Phenomena equals appearances, what is observable, measurable, and accessible through the science or the senses and scientific instruments. So, what science is based on is observation, observing phenomena, and what's measurable. The Illuminati call them sensates, like purely they base their worldview on what you can see, touch, taste, hear, smell. But there's obviously more than that makes up our universe, and that's why the sixth sense is, the mind, and it's definitely just as real of a sense as the five senses. They just don't want to. They don't want to. They can't explain it because it's not part of their paradigm. So, anyways, the nomina from Kant, things in themselves, the hidden or essential reality behind the appearances, which may be inaccessible to empirical observation. So this is the talking about two different aspects of the Cartesian dualism. Physical, non-physical, phenomenon, nomina. And Immanuel Kant, obviously one of the philosophers, because the Illuminati include all of the greatest minds' works in their work. So, and it only gets better. That's why it's a dialectical religion of logos. So, the hidden or essential reality behind appearances, which may be inaccessible. So this is where the religious people lie, because they see they actually are more of the nominal observers of reality, because you either see from outside in, like the outside is what creates your inside, or the inside, what happens on the inside, is what is affecting your outside, which is actually what the truth is, because it is obvious that I've created this matter. I've worked in cooperation with the universe, with my mind, that's created this material reality in front of me, and what I have thought has, I've created through this body, and now I'm experiencing everything that I've thought into being. From the dream, from my individual subjective dream, which is what we all are as monads, because when we go to sleep, we experience the individual subjective dream world, and then when we wake up, we are in the collective dream world. But then, once you wake more up in your dream world, you then wake more up in reality, and you're like, hey, I'm waking up in the dream. I'm seeing that, because even in the dream, like I've asked people about, like, I went over that, and I'm like, I was lucid, and then I'm like, hey, is this a dream? And then they looked at me and they're like, I was crazy. And that's actually the same thing that anyone would do in this. Unless they did, then they would be awake. So those people in the dream world that I ask, is this a dream? And they're looking at me crazy, they're not awake. But if I ask people in this world, is this a dream? And they knew that, then they would be awake. And that is the highest actual level of the mysteries, is they reveal to you that life is a dream. But science will definitely not acknowledge that. So even like high intellectual people like Charlie Kirk, because I've been keeping my eye out on him and seeing him, and he is very smart, but he's promoting an agenda. He is a Christian nationalist, and even he would probably say he's scientific, but he's also a Christian, a religious. So, but that is a contradiction in itself right there. So actually, I would like to ask him about that. I'd actually like to go. I need to go find one of his rallies, and go get up there. Shit, maybe I'll do that. I would like to do that. Scientific materialism's limitation. Mainstream science focuses only on phenomena. It assumes that what is observable constitutes the whole of reality. It dismisses the nominal as irrelevant, non-existent, or unknowable. This worldview results in an epistemological blindness to deeper truths. And this is true because what I've learned from the mystery schools is there's 7 levels of reality. And physical reality is the first level. And, there's the atmic plane, the buddhic plane, the astral plane, the causal plane, and the, other plane. But those are all the 7 planes of existence. And that science is not acknowledging those. You know what I'm saying? But I have definitely, in my sleep, when I'm sleeping there, I am have traveled to these planes and seen, the astral plane, been on that. Been on the atmic plane where I'm seeing fields of Elysian fields and these structures, these angelic structures that are just flowing in the wind, and I'm obviously going through different dimensions there. Out of body experiences. So right there, I'm refuting scientific materialism. And when you're having that experience, it is a religious experience, and you're like, whoa, these are out of body experience. I'm gonna go to religion to, because obviously these are God, these are, you are definitely experiencing God when you are having out of body experiences, and you look for answers for that in religions. You can get caught up in that, but they are for control, because the more followers they have, the more they'll more power they'll have, and the more they'll stand, for the longer they'll stand. So they're trying to just get followers, just like influencers do. The Eastern religions were closer to the truth because they're about self-knowledge rather than faith and obedience. And but it's for them, it's not about escaping samsara or the illusion. It's about integrating it and apotheosis. So observability as a philosophical assumption. The scientific method is predicated on the idea that reality is ultimately observable. But if reality contains essential unobservables, this method becomes inherently incomplete. This leads to a potential catastrophic failure in science's ability to explain ultimate reality. So, but you will never see science even acknowledging this because it will destroy their paradigm, and they will have to say that they're wrong and they don't have the answers, this is what we're coming up upon. Because science is having its day with being able to explain things and being to, refute religion, but even science is about to be refuted by illuminism and illumination and ontological mathematics, because ontological mathematics has things like psychophysics in it, which is going to be the new physics, which includes the mental realm in the cosmology of so that's how what we're going to have to understand, the paradigm that's going to have to be accepted. So the Nobel people are going to need to be getting a hold of the work of the Illuminati. That's why I wrote a book called the Nobel Prize, and because this should be nominated for the Nobel Prize, and because it is the grand unified theory of everything. So that is, obviously one of the things I'm working on is getting to some point where I'm able to present this, because it is the key to humanity's liberation. Appearance without substance. Science can become a study of illusions if it refuses to acknowledge depth behind appearances. Reality as merely surface gives no account of meaning, consciousness, or essence. So that's what the Illuminati mean by there's no meaning in the science's way of explaining anything. They can't explain consciousness. They say dreams are, they say consciousness is a product of a brain, which that's not true, because consciousness is in a realm outside of time and space, and it projects itself into time and space, inhabits a body through sinusoidal waves, which are thoughts, and inverse and Fourier transforms. And that's the scientific explanation that's required for the solving of the Cartesian dualism, which unites it all. So, integration of dual perspectives. True understanding requires the unification of phenomenal outer and nominal inner. Insights emerge through the relationship between appearance and essence. The seeker must become fluent in both the language of services and the language of depths. So that's, saying that you have to be inside and outside. And when I started this journey, I learned how to go inside, how to meditate. And that does definitely take you to the inside of reality. And then you open your eyes, and this is what's observable, and the surfaces, and then these are the depths. It's all duality. So, philosophical and esoteric implications. This view aligns with traditions such as Platonism, Gnosticism, and German idealism. It also parallels esoteric doctrines which emphasize the hidden inner world of truth. So the concept of inside outside reality, which is in the Illuminati's paradigm of explaining everything. This is it aligns with Platonism, Gnosticism, and it emphasizes the hidden inner world of truth, and it is all inner. I guess like what I'm waiting for is for this to be acknowledged by the government, because I know that they know about six-dimensional physics and stuff like that, and but they're not, but things are the things are going to change though, and we're going to be going into higher dimensions, and the government's not going to be able to do anything but explain that they actually knew what was going on. So that time is coming. Man, all this information though, oh my god, I have like, after I had my wake up experiences, UFO experiences, abduction experiences, I went from reading, I didn't read anything. And then I started reading everything. And that obviously led me to finding the Pythagorean Illuminati. And not by air or by sea shall you find the Hyperboreans. And I've definitely had contact with some masters in my dreams and had experiences. Ramtha is definitely one of them I have been in contact with. And so everything he says, I'm like, I know is gonna happen and stuff, and that's why he definitely said you never knew how you could be when Big Brother is turned off. And he's talking about a time that's coming where Big Brother is going to be turned off. Like the whole, in the whole surveillance system, everything is going to be turned off, and that's why that's when everybody's going to be unplugged. And what is going to matter, because when that happens, people that know what's going on are going to be knowing what's going on, and people that are not, and they're going to have to figure it out, and they're going to be looking for people who know what's going on and can explain what's going on. I mean, and that time is actually now, because it's like, what they've been able to, like, through education, like, because the first question that you should ask is like, what is reality? What is consciousness? What is going on with my mind? Like, like in my body, and I know there's a difference though, but actually it's actually connected too, because that's what Descartes, the whole mind body, res extensa reg cogna. um, your mind is separate from your body. Like your body is a physical, like it allows you to experience space and time, because your mind is beyond space and time. That's why it can go into the past, it can go into the future, it can go right now, it can imagine many different parallel realities, at one time. Like that's why everything is happening everywhere all at once. That's why they made that movie and stuff. Is because you're a monad and in a singularity, and that's why when you dream, you go to sleep, you experience yourself as a monad, and there is no time or space. Things change on an instant. You're going to parallel realities. You are definitely God. So they definitely don't want people to know that. They want people to be enslaved, to continue their system, which that is breaking down, and we, politically, religiously, and economically, it's all gonna fall. I've gone over that. But the best part about it is, all things fall, all empires fall, but from the ashes is rebuilt something anew. And from these ashes that are going to happen, when the religions fail because they're built on lies, when politics fail because it's built on lies, and when economy fails because it's built on lies, because they can't keep it going forever. Then that is when illumination will come forth, and that's when the Illuminati will come forth. So that's that, because timing is everything, and can't do things too early. You can't, prime directive, but the Illuminati are breaking that though, because they are giving this information out, and yeah. So because every single thing that I go over is like very important, like, because it is mystery school teachings, and as I'm teaching it, like I'm learning it too, like I'm learning and teaching at the same time, and I understand how important this is, because it literally turns you into a multi-dimensional, aeonic being of light. And I know that these are the ascension teachings, because that's what the Illuminati's teachings are, obviously. How to escape the demiurge. So, and I first came upon them with finding Ramtha. Okay. Okay, so there's the dual gaze. The phenomenal perspective, the outer gaze. Practiced by scientists and empiricists. Focus on surface appearances, observables, measurements, and description. Assumptions. What you see is what you get. No hidden variables. Flaws. Rejects nominal depth. Denies unobservable foundations. Science becomes the study of shadows, not essence. And there's the inner gaze, going inward, because the outside, inner, outer, the nominal perspective. This is definitely this perspective that I subscribe to, is the nominal perspective. Practiced by mystics, idealists, spiritual seekers. Focuses on inner being, consciousness, transcendental unity, the one, cosmic truth. Assumptions, the world is Maya, illusion. Truth is found only inward, by overcoming appearances. Flaw, dismisses the outer world as meaningless. Neglects interaction with the phenomenal world. So, in the East, this is more of what I subscribe to, but I know that it's not fully the truth, because the flaws are, it dismisses the outer world as meaningless. Like, because the Maya illusion, it says it's all a dream, but it's not meaningless though, because you are the creator of the illusion that you are even experiencing. Like, so, and it's all about escaping reality, interaction with the phenomenal world, like, not even having interaction with it, but to be able to reach the transcendental truth, which that is not the truth too, because you are supposed to merge those, which these are all about. So, Janus, the archetype of total awareness. Roman god of beginnings, transitions, and dualities. Has two faces, one looking forward, one looking backward. Symbol of liminality, boundary crossing, and dual sight. Janus sees past and future, inside and outside, sacred and profane, nominal and phenomenal. So, the lesson: to grasp reality, you must wear the head of Janus. True understanding is binocular, not monocular. So, bringing up Janus is important because, he has two faces, one looking forward, one looking backward. Symbol of liminality, so the liminal plane, like the Cartesian horizon, the plane but between mind and matter. Like Janus represents that, the god of that place, which is definitely the threshold to the other side. So the more inward you go, the more you discover the truth, and but then you realize that it is your mission to bring what is inside of you to the outside, and that both of those realities are real, and Janus is the god that represents that. All right, so that is it. I'll end it there for today, because there's so many things I can talk about, and I love talking about each one of these things. So, till next time.